Hey there, I'm Brandon, and this is the Dirt Church Devotional. I've been thinking lately about the topic of waiting. Back in the 1980s, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers had a song, and the lyrics were, "The waiting is the hardest part." And I think oftentimes that is true. Waiting for good times, waiting for blessing, the waiting for fulfillment of a promise can be really hard, even spiritually speaking, maybe especially spiritually speaking. But let me ask you this. Is it possible that it's even harder on God waiting and watching us before we step out in faith? This is where I'm going. We have a blessing from God, a command from God, whatever, and we sit and we wait for God to give it to us. At the same time, God is waiting for us to step out in faith to take it. A good example comes in Joshua chapter 3. The Israelite people had been 40 years in the desert. Moses has died. Joshua is now in charge, and the Lord is ready to bless the nation with the promised land. All they got to do is cross the Jordan, and then they're going to be in the promised land and start taking it over. Here's the difficulty. It was harvest season, and it tells us in Joshua chapter 3 that during the harvest season, the Jordan is at flood stage. That means it's overflowing its banks. There is a lot of water, worst time ever to cross. But God speaks to Joshua and says, "Hey, I want you to cross the Jordan. Tell the people to get ready. You're going to cross the Jordan. Tell the priests to go first. Pick up the ark and head out there." Now, you and I, and probably Joshua, we say, "Okay, Lord, stop the water and we'll go. Give me the provision and we'll go." But God said, "No, you go and then I'll give. You go and then I'll..." He told the priests, he said, "Look," I told Joshua, he said, "Look, tell the priests to pick up the ark and start walking towards the Jordan and actually step in it." They actually had to step into the river that's overflowing its banks. It's running at high speed, high volume. They've got the Ark of the Covenant with them. He says, "Tell them to step in. When they step in, I will stop the water." They stepped in the river. They actually walked up, stepped in the river, and then God stopped it, backed it all the way up to a town called Adam, flooded that place out. The water stopped flowing, and the people could walk through. And as soon as they were done walking through, and 12 representatives took stones out for a memorial, the priest came out, the waters went right back to flood stage. Here's the deal. God wants to bless you, but maybe he's waiting on you to step out in faith. This is something that I found out. The provision won't flow until the feet start to go. God wants to use you. He wants to bless you. He wants to give all sorts of things to you, but he's waiting for you to step out and take hold of it by faith. Start walking by faith. Let that be a challenge to you. Don't be hindered and don't miss out because you're busy waiting. Get up and go and then see what the Lord will do. Lord bless you. Chew on that. Talk to you next time.